So Jason, you're on Far Cry 3.
Yes.
A game that, at the moment, as I was just talking about a minute ago, is covered in intrigue, maybe intentionally so by you guys.
It's almost like we planned it that way.
Did you plan it that way?
Well, I mean, we want to show you the stuff that we're the most proud of, and we want to make sure that everything that you see is awesome, right? Yeah. And so we're in development. We're working on the game full steam, and we want to make sure that the message gets out and that what you see is awesome. So that, I mean, we're going to show you the best stuff that we've got, and then we're going to hold until we've got stuff that we're like, and now. Also, we're coming out next year, so I mean, we're not. Yeah, exactly. We're not here to. We're not here to. We're not going to. We're going to start dumping data on you a little bit later. So.
Okay, and so let's talk about insanity, because that's clearly a big idea and a big theme of the game. What is the definition of sanity to you, and how does it play into Far Cry 3?
Well, I mean, Voss, that character that you see, I mean, he plays around with Einstein's definition of insanity, right? Which is this, doing the same thing over and over and over. Which, I mean, he's obsessed with, and I get that. He's a little off. But to me, what I'm pushing for is insanity is actually, it's the stuff that we're not supposed to do in civilized society.
Yeah.
Anything that's outside the agreed structure, well, that's insane, right? And this island, this place that you've ended up on, is a place where they haven't had civilized society really ever, right? And they haven't had a government in a good long time.
Yeah.
And so that creates this space where the darkness that's inside of people can come out. And we, as you play Jason Brody.
Yep.
Who's a Western dude, right? Who's coming into this space, right? And so, of course, when he sees this kind of an environment, it's full of pirates and criminals and rebels who are fighting back, who have mixed agendas and all this violence and really like dark. And it's really a dark place. Of course, to him, it's insane, but to these people, it's their normal life. They've never known anything different, right? And in fact, they would describe it as, it's just another day, right? And so, I think that's what's fascinating about it is that what we see as insanity is actually quite real, right? Yeah. When we talk about inspirations for Far Cry, I don't have to go much further than documentary filmmaking. Go look at Liberia and what's happening there. Go look at the Somali's coast and these things. I mean, it's not directly set there, but I mean, you don't have to go very far in the world to find inspiration to get that feeling of like, oh God, can that actually be true?
Yeah.
And I think it's that's really what we're trying to do. So
that's such an ambitious idea. There, is that not hard to get it into a video game and make sure you get all these intricate bits in?
Well, if it was easy, what would be the point of that?
Fair enough.
So in general, I like hard problems.
Yeah.
But also, I think that Far Cry has a tradition of doing things the hard way, right?
Yeah.
We're like, so we're going to make a first-person shooter, but it's going to be open world, and you're going to be able to do stealth and action at the same time, and we're going to have great, huge vistas, and great AI, and high-definition characters all at the same time, right? No problem, right? I mean, if we wanted to take the easy road, right, we could drop ourselves down to a corridor shooter, right, and just do that, right? But no, we don't do that, right? We like to stick out. We like to be the odd man out. Right?
Yeah. Does that surprise you, the only ones doing that? Because a lot of people are happy to be the corridor linear shooter, but you guys, you always sit down with a Far Cry game, love it or hate it, it's different.
Yeah, and you know what? It doesn't surprise me that people want to take that route, because there's still a lot of creativity that can go into that. If you're making a corridor shooter, you just put your focus on other stuff, right? It goes into presentation and all that drama and all that stuff, right? So I mean, but at the same time, to me, that's not the promise of games. Right? Yeah. That's the promise of cinema. That's the promise of drama. That's other genres' promise.
Yeah.
What Far Cry has always represented for me is the promise of interactive entertainment, and what that can be at the end of a gun, right? Yeah. And the combination of true interactive storytelling, right, and combat gameplay, right? Sort of player-driven, choice-driven combat gameplay. So I mean, it's just I love it. It's incredibly difficult to do. It doesn't surprise me that the world isn't full of these shooters. I wish it were. Yeah. I wish there were way more of these, but because it is, it's tough. It's really tough, but not impossible. I mean, it's not like it's not like it can't be done.
Yeah.
It's just
you're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. We're here to do it, and we're gonna. So,
and so if I'm a Far Cry 3 nut and I watch the trailer over and over and over again, when should I look out for the next big kind of spillage of information?
You know, I wish I knew.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, I'm going to try and be, you know, I always try to get out there and express as much as I can, and every time they give me an opportunity to talk to you guys, I'm like, okay, I'm going to say this and this and this, and they're like, you got to pull back on that.
Give me some cards.
Yeah, right, I want to tell you the whole thing. But, so, because we're coming out next year, right now what we're doing is sort of just letting you know that we're here. I mean, at E3, it was like, hey, by the way,
here we come.
Here we are, right? And we were the big surprise, right? I was amazed that we got to the show with no one leaking that, right?
With no one. Surprised.
We were like invited up to the last minute. We were like, oh God, you know, is it going to happen? But we got there, right? And everyone was like, oh my God, Far Cry 3 for real. So we're really in that moment right now, and we want to make sure that when we got all our ducks in a row, so that when we start showing you stuff, that you're just going to be like, oh, okay, right, yes,
I get it.
That's the Far Cry I was hoping to see. That's okay, yes. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, soon, I guess, but I wouldn't plan on a big communication dump in the next 2 weeks or anything. So.
Of course, yeah. A few months though, maybe.
Maybe. I hope so. I hope so. Honestly, it's not up to me. If it was up to me, I'd be telling you everything.
Of course. We can go get them now and then get all the information out.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not. I guess that's not good marketing strategy. I don't know.
You're right.
You're right. I don't know. It's not my bailiwick though. I don't really think too much.
Perfect. Jason, you're a legend. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Take care.
Dude, that